First of all, that's a big-time college football game, and it's a privilege to be part of a game like that where great kids on both sides battle like crazy and fight. It's exactly what we thought it would be, and we knew it was going to be tough-minded young men, and those defensive fronts, those offensive linemen on both sides played like crazy, and it was there will be some sore young men tonight and tomorrow morning when they wake up, that's for sure. So, we made some plays. The second half of that big turning point was when we were able to score on the last, I guess it was the last drive of the first half there. We got more yards on that series of plays in the scoring drive than we got the whole first half. I believe up to that we had like 2 first downs and 47 yards. So that gave us a little bit of momentum, I believe, going in. And then we just kept on pounding and making plays. The turnovers were huge for us. We were able to get a couple turnovers and convert them into points. Proud of the young men in this program, the way they played today, and my hat goes off to them. They just kept on fighting, they kept on battling, and we were fortunate to make some plays in the end of the way.
The wind was a big factor.
The wind was a big factor. Yeah, absolutely. I think when you were going that way, maybe try to make a decision at halftime to if we wanted it in the fourth quarter, if we wanted it in the third quarter. We decided to go with it in the fourth quarter. I felt like that was the best move, and I believe that paid off in the end. But the wind was definitely a factor.
Chris was out like 2 hours before kickoff, tested the leg, and it looked like he wasn't happy. Can you take us through how close he was to playing and how Trotter did for the defense?
Yeah, Thursday practice, Chris looked very good. Was it Thursday or Wednesday? Whenever we talked last, I guess it was Thursday. He really did some good things. The key was the recovery off of that, and he felt good, but Chris has gone through this before. He understands himself, and he just came up to myself, came up to the trainers, and I asked him, he says, Coach, I just feel like to open up and I have a problem. So that ended it right there. We need to get him back where he needs to be. As bad as that, for Chris to say that, then he was definitely worried.
You Trotter filling in for him.
Marcus did a great job. Marcus came in, and it's Marcus's moment. It's a credit to him for the way he prepared. The defensive coach, his coach Aran is his position coach also, but he's obviously lived in the moment, and he's had himself prepared all the way. That doesn't just happen in a week or happen in 10 days with a bye week. It takes time to get into that position and play the way he plays. So it matters to him a lot. It's great to see him have success.
Can you talk about holding Iowa to field goals there early when your offense was struggling? Just how important that was.
It was a huge point in the football game. We had zero. We didn't have anything going other than we were playing pretty salty defense in the first quarter for sure. We couldn't run the ball. It seemed like an inch, and we couldn't throw the ball. And, our punt game was kind of a little bit all over the place with the wind, and they got the ball. I don't know what the starting field position was, but for our defense to hang in there and force them to kick those field goals was big. I thought the defensive staff mixed it up pretty good, a little bit better down there in the red zone, and forced them to kick some field goals. And that was big. It could have jumped out of control real quick if we couldn't hold those field goals.
To be missing some guys, Gary, and then to lose Jared like that, what did it say about the mindset of your guys? What did you see?
One thing I'm going to remember this team for forever, regardless of what happens through the rest of the season, is they're never phased. And it's the next kid that's got to go in, whether it's on special teams, offense, or defense. They seem to be prepared to get in the moment, and the most important part of that is they rally around each other. Nobody felt like we would go out there and play poorly today on defense because Marcus was going to be in there playing and that Borland wasn't going to play. They knew Marcus would play well, and it speaks highly for those kids. The faith they have in each other and want to.
When did you know you wouldn't have Dipple, and can you say anything about his situation?
What would have been Thursday night. Tyler just has a really bad family situation. I hope he returns this week soon, and probably maybe midweek or so. Family first. Will always be family first. He needed to get back there and take care of things. He's handling that. Talked to him this morning. Hopefully everything's moving in the right direction. But it hurt not having him today, and it hurt Tyler not to be here, but I'm glad we got the win for him.
So he's back home.
He's in California.
Gary, can you talk about the interceptions, both forced by pressure? It might not show up in the box score, but that's...
Yeah. It looked like we were I didn't have my eyes on there, but I was told we were getting pretty good pressure on the quarterback. I was watching the back end so much today, but we got some good pressure, got some balls kind of floated up in the air. The one bounced off, and Pat made an unbelievable pick on the one, jumped up, and I didn't know Pat could jump so high, but he sure did on that snap and made a tremendous play. The turnovers played a key role in this football game. And when these two teams play for years to come, I'd imagine it's going to be just like that.
You mentioned Muldoon earlier this year, how he likes to stay in the background, but he had the pick, he had the TBU and zone draft. Is he in the midst of just a quiet, solid year right now?
Yeah, very solid, and that's the way Pat wants it. First time I talked to him about coming out of the tunnel and things, because he was always back there. I looked at him and he said, "Yeah, coach, you kind of like to fly underneath the radar a little bit." And that's the way he is. But he sure doesn't when he plays. He comes out and plays with great energy and great passion, and he's made a lot of plays for us this year.
Can you talk about the atmosphere with the Wisconsin fans here as compared to other away games that you have?
This is a tremendous place to play. Our fans here are awesome. I think they probably bought every ticket they could. I didn't see an empty seat in there, but this is an awesome place to play. When you come to Iowa and play, you better play a lot of loud music throughout practice, and we did that. We kept the offense in the indoor all week long. Once we came off the bye week, all day Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday and Thursday, and blasted the music as loud as we could, and we needed it because this place is loud and obviously very dedicated fans.
Gary, can you talk about your defensive preparation? Iowa has had some go-to plays during the season, a tunnel screen, for instance, and you guys seem to shut it down early on that kept them stalled at times.
Well, I would say this. First of all, the credit always goes to the kids. They prepare, and they do a nice job of evaluating and looking at the film, and then the game plan's put in by the defensive coaches. But there's a core play that you have to be able to stop, or set of plays, and that's the run game against Iowa. You have to, or you're going to be in a lot of trouble. And the thing that's the hardest about it is there's a two-back run game, and then there's a 13 personnel run game, similar to the game plan you saw against Ohio State. And then it comes back, I believe it was against Minnesota, where it came back in the two-back set, and they get a lot of pieces involved. And a lot of people say it's just it's a run offense. It's a run offense with 4 or 5 different avenues that cause you some real problems in preparation. And I thought we handled it well. We knew we couldn't get the ball down the field. There's a couple balls that I'm sure they'd like to get back if they had their hands on. We still need to do a better job on the back end. But the kids, they prepared and they executed well for the most part.
Gary, do you know what happened to Everett Darius and where his status is moving forward?
It looks like he'll be fine. I believe. I don't know exactly what he has, but he's just got a bruise or what he's got going. But he looked okay when I saw him in there. So hopefully we'll find him in the next couple of days.
How about Llewellyn and Wozniak?
Yeah, Dallas was walking around fine, holding the trophy. So if he's gimpy, you should put the trophy down here to find him in that. And Woz appeared to be okay. We'll put some ice on it and see where that goes. We know a lot more.
We talked about a week before about coming back here because of the commitment to anything. James White talked about when he comes to play because he got knocked out.
I thought James played very, very well. And, they both played like crazy. James broke some big runs, Mel broke some big runs. One got called back, obviously. But it was tough sledding in there. And the thing they didn't do is they didn't get their daughter down. They didn't start pointing fingers at their offensive linemen. They just kept on banging and playing in there and took the yards that came their way against a very stout and stiff defense. So those kids are, again, unselfish. And they just kept on pounding and pounding and pounding until something kind of broke for them. And they got it done in the end. In the fourth quarter, they were able to make some bigger plays for us.